part of the time zone you are in, whichever part of the world you are in. Once again, welcome to Happy Hours of Coaching Session. This is your coach and host Ashutosh Bhattodekar, bringing you another session. And I hope you like this session also. And in this session, I'm going to talk about how do we learn concepts, key concepts by applying coaching, by applying gamification techniques. More so by applying what we call as storytelling. So I am a big fan of storytelling. In my coaching conversations also, I love to bring about a lot of interesting stories which are there. And I'll be talking about some of the interesting stories which I'll be bringing onto the table here. Hope all of you are doing good and you're enjoying the post-COVID period. I think many of us would be back to offices. Work has started back in offices. We are now having that personal connect which is happening with our team members. So I hope you are enjoying the hybrid way of working and it has actually helped you to once again network with fellow professionals. All right. So as I said, I'll be talking about some of the techniques which I am using in my coaching journey. And as I said, I'm a big fan of storytelling. So I love to use metaphors of story. I love to use these pictures. And I try to draw these concepts if I want to coach any team or if I want to give some guidance to a team or mentor a team. I use some of these techniques. Maybe it would not be possible for me to cover all these techniques, but definitely I would be talking about few of the important techniques which I'm using. Before I start the session, just a quick round of introduction about myself. Ashutosh Bhattodekar here. I play the role of an enterprise agile coach, a consultant and a trainer, and I myself consider more as a learner than any of these roles. And I always believe to be partnering with people in their coaching journey. That's my motto. I also have a YouTube channel. I think many of you are aware about YouTube channel, which has got now almost 100 plus videos which are there. And in case you are interested and if you have not yet subscribed, I would strongly request you to subscribe so that any new video which comes up, that will be obviously first displayed on the YouTube channel. And you will get an opportunity to have a look at the video. I mean, the feedback I have been getting from people is that yes, I mean, there's a mixed feedback which I get from. Sorry, I think I was on mute. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me start with the session on learning concepts through coaching. And yeah, this is your coach, host, and mentor Ashutosh Bhattodekar here. And I have my own YouTube channel. I think many of you are aware about this YouTube channel. It is called Agile Coaching and Transformation Leadership. And in case you have subscribed to the channel, I would request you to subscribe to the channel. It will definitely help you in your coaching journey. It will definitely help you, especially if you are looking for a change of job and you would like to crack interviews. Definitely this is a channel what will help you to achieve that, right? And I'm putting the subscription link here. Feel free to connect on this channel and subscribe to the channel so that you learn something new. All right, so before I start today's session, I just wanted to understand one thing. What exactly is the role what you're playing currently in your organization? You can just type in the chat box. And I'll be more than happy to know what is the role you're playing or what is the role you're aspiring to play in your journey, in your career journey. So what's that exact role what you're playing? If you can just type it in the chat window, that would really be great. Okay, agile coach, interesting. So we have agile coach here. Anyone who's playing a role of a coach or a traditional project manager also, please let us know. Because this is a topic I feel something which everyone should be following, right? It is not just coaches, even project managers, traditional leaders, or traditional managers, scrum masters. These are the people who should be applying these techniques or these learning concepts which I'm going to talk about is something which I feel everyone should be applying. Yeah, so we have a mix of Scrum Masters, project manager, coaches. Okay, great to see that. Very nice to have all of you here. Yeah, so as I said, these techniques, what I'm going to talk about, these are, and there's nothing rocket science or new in these techniques. I'm sure you know these techniques. Only thing is that you will have to apply these techniques in your coaching conversations and coaching journey. Now, where is the origin of this idea? I mean, this is not my original topic, learning concepts through stories. It has been borrowed from a topic called business storytelling. So those of you are aware about business storytelling, it's an art. And many times we see that a business, when they go for a pitch, when they go for a sales pitch, or when they go for a solution pitch, rather than walking through boring PPTs, they use the storytelling as a metaphor. Okay, so they overlay their story, or they garnish their story with basically pictures, with basically rhymes, with basically, I would say, thought memes. Also, many times I've seen also memes being published, and they rhyme it with that, so that there's a curiosity in the minds of the listener, right? If you try to have a same boring presentation, you will find that people are off very immediately. And even before you have begun your sales pitch, people would have lost interest in it, right? So this concept is borrowed heavily from business storytelling, where people actually use storytelling as a metaphor, and they try to sell this idea, or they try to sell a particular product. Okay, so I have borrowed it, and I'm using it in my coaching journey, right? So these people, when you use a storytelling technique, you will find that, this rhymes very well with the people, because this is something what they can relate to very easily. They can easily touch base with the story which is being covered there. All right, so let us start with what is storytelling in coaching, and does it really work in coaching? So has anyone tried storytelling in coaching in a format? I am also curious to know, in case anyone has already tried this. Storytelling in the coaching world, have you tried it? Anyone? Not yet. Okay, so I see people have not tried it. So what makes me think, or what makes you think that it will work? Okay, these are some of the pointers which I have got. These are some of the learnings which I've got from my storytelling experiences, which I have been using. And it's not just storytelling, it's also using pictures, it's also using memes. I did a session on agile memes a few weeks back. Okay, that also has got some interesting Hollywood and Bollywood movie memes, which actually connect us through the coaching journey. The challenges we as coaches face, the anti-patterns which are there, it connects with that. So why does storytelling works in coaching also, just like it works in a business scenario? The reason is the very old saying, right? What we learned in our childhood: a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can convey a lot in a picture than what you can write an essay of 1,000 words. So if I have to do a coaching conversation, and if I start talking about it, believe me, people are going to get bored after 5 minutes. It's not a webinar which I can deliver for 30 minutes and expect people to listen to it, right? So basically, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I firmly believe in this adage, and this is what something which helps me to bring about a storytelling session, right? Or this is what something which helps me bring about the story building activities to its logical conclusion. We can definitely better articulate through stories. Lot of examples which come through. It is very easy to figure out from the stories. Okay, it is very, very easy to see, okay, this is what a picture is telling. So let me build a story around it. Okay, so let me try to build a story, or let me try to build a tale around the story, is what immediately comes to my mind. Okay, the third and the most important things, it's very easy to resonate with those characters, right? With those pictures, with those people, and they may not be celebrity pictures. Okay, not all storytelling begins with a celebrity picture, and you will see that in the subsequent slides. You will see that the pictures which I'm using are very, very common man pictures, like pictures of very, very common personalities or common man, and they're very easy to remember characters which are there. Okay, and then obviously it removes boredom. I have myself experienced it. I have used this concept even in a sprint review, by the way, where we actually did a sprint review through a storytelling process rather than going through a boring PPT. We did this to a storytelling feature through a role play. We actually played a role play, and we said this is how this feature has to be demonstrated. to our product owner. So it definitely removes boredom. People get very excited. There's a new way of building conducting these events is what we see. And most importantly, what we see as a part of this is also that it infuses energy into our team. So our teams are definitely super, super energized because of this activity. So definitely, these are some of the advantages of storytelling, which I feel helps us. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just talk about 2 or 3 stories, and then I'm going to leave you with pictures, and then we will collaboratively understand where this picture can be used, or in which situation can this picture be used in our storytelling approach. So let me start with a very interesting poem. I think we all grew up with this poem. We all cannot forget this poem. This poem is something which is resonating in our hearts, right? And any guesses for the poem? Which poem I'm going to bring in first into this context? Any guesses which could be that poem? I mean, we all have learned that poem in our nursery and KG. That nursery rhyme, one of the very famous nursery rhymes which is there. And let us see how we can use it into our coaching journey. No, not Mary Had a Little Lamb. It is Jack and Jill. Okay, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm not reading out that poem for you. Now, where can I use this poem? Okay, let me try to tell you where I can use this poem. So in one of the coaching journeys, I found that basically the team was very heartbroken. They did everything they could do in that sprint, yet the sprint was a failure. And what I told the team was, see, this is a picture in front of you. Jack and Jill being very, very energetic and enthusiastic kids there, even they could not do this activity successfully, right? I mean, with all the efforts and all the zeal and passion they had, they did not succeed, and they failed, right? I mean, so-called failure, if I were to say, right? And Jill came tumbling down, as we say, right? I mean, it's a classic story of a failure. But I think many of us have not read the second paragraph of this rhyme. Okay, up Jack got and home did trot as fast as he could caper, right? Went to bed to mend his head with vinegar and brown paper. I think that is a positivity in this message, that howsoever we fall down, we are back in recovery mode in the next sprint. So this is a biggest message I gave to the team, using this rhyme as a metaphor, that yes, I mean, not everything goes as per plan. Even though you have done everything well, there are still those factors which come in our way, over which we really do not have any control, right? Unknown unknowns, right? Yet the beautiful message with this rhyme is giving us is that with renewed effort, with renewed zeal, we are again coming back, and we are coming out back with the flying colors, right? As I said, I don't have all the rhymes to be covered today, but I have covered more rhymes, many rhymes I have covered as a part of this storytelling experience which is there. Okay, and yes, I mean, this is something which is a very close to heart poem which is there. Okay, Jack and Jill went up the hill. Okay, let us go to the next nursery rhyme. Okay, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Okay, now where do I use this, or where did I use this in conversation? Okay, so if you read the poem, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. I actually use this metaphor in product roadmap and product visualization. I challenged my product teams using this rhyme, that you have to build a product which is going to add that value. What is the value you are going to get out of this transformation? You figure it out. Okay, the sky is the limit. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, right? How I wonder what you are. It's a curiosity. You are building curiosity in the product through this rhyme, right? And don't be complacent with the status quo product. Try to come out with something which is unique, something which is exciting, something which no one has done before. Okay, so use this as a story. Okay, and try to build that curiosity. Think out of the box. Encourage your product owners to think out of the box. Don't be bogged down within that box. Think outside that square box, which is unfortunately the iron cage, or basically the cage which is tying you. Think outside the box. and come out of that, right? I mean, that is what is the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. How I wonder what you are. So I'm starting with the easy ones right now, and then obviously, I mean, I won't be reading out the rest of the stories. We together will try to figure out where these stories can be used in the coaching conversation. So one last rhyme from my side. Again, a very famous one, which is Humpty Dumpty. I think, I think we all know this rhyme also, right? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. So which means you are actually achieved something in life. You're sitting on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a fall. Okay, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, right? So what it is trying to tell is it is very easy to grow, but it is, I mean, it is also very easy to fall from there. Okay, it is also very easy to fall from that pedestal what you have put, right? So one wrong decision in your sprint, it can undo the work of all the previous sprints in the eyes of the client, right? As they say, right, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Similarly, feedback is in the hand of the client, as we say, right? One wrong decision which you take in your sprint, it could have a catastrophic impact. It could actually undo a lot of efforts what you have been doing, right? Whatever good work, as they say, right? Yesterday was history, today is mystery, right? You might have got laurels yesterday. You might have got the best of the best teams award yesterday, right? But today it's actually a mystery. How day of today unfolds is a mystery, and we don't even know between now and 12 o'clock what is going to happen in our life, right? And the same dynamics happen in our engagement. So this is a message I usually give also in a daily scrum, right? I mean, I think there was one question also which one person asked me the other day: how do I make daily scrums exciting? Because many times people get bored, or if there's a crisis going on, this daily scrum turns out to be more like a blame game. I think as a metaphor, what you will have to do is you'll have to tell your teams that, see, even the best of the best teams can falter. Even the best of the best teams may not be able to achieve what they would like to achieve or what they have planned to achieve. So this is basically the metaphor which I would give from a Humpty Dumpty session which is there. So I have revealed the three rhymes, three very common rhymes which are there. Now let us try to complicate a thing. Let us try to make things a little more difficult. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to allow you to speak if you want to speak now. You can unmute yourself and speak. But let us understand the next scenario. It won't be as easy as this one. Okay, the scenario won't be as easy as this one. Definitely there will be some complexity in the scenario, as they say, right? I mean, when you conduct a story writing workshop, the first few stories are very easy to write, and subsequent stories become very difficult to write, right? So that is a challenge which I am now throwing at you. And let us say in a coaching session, okay, you're a team, I'm a coach, I give you this as a picture. I give you this as a picture just to tell you about this picture. I think it is self-explanatory, but this is the only picture I give to you. What kind of a scenario comes to your mind? Can anyone throw some lights on it? Like if I'm in a coaching session and this picture is given to you, and I tell you that you write a story based on this scenario. Anyone would like to add here? You can unmute yourself and speak now. What kind of a story will come to your mind? Yes.
This is Srini. Initially, we thought that the issue in hand with us or the constraints in hand with us, it's not that major. But when we dig deep into that, we found that it's not something that easy to resolve. It's very complicated and complex.
Okay, so you're basically comparing the kitten with basically the tiger, right? That is what comes to your mind, right?
Yeah.
Because you thought that I mean, when the cat looks into the mirror, obviously you would have thought that the issue is magnified. Probably that's a good analogy, by the way. The issue is magnified more than what you thought, right? I mean, it's an iceberg. What you see, like what happened with Titanic, right? They initially thought that it's only a small piece of ice which has hit that a big size ship which is there, right? But in the event, it turns out to be that actually it was an iceberg which actually hit. And yes, many times we have it in the project, right? So this is one way of looking at it. Any other thoughts anyone has? And yeah, I'm also looking at LinkedIn Live and Twitter. There are a lot of interesting comments coming up there also. Any other thought comes to your mind if you want to build a story around it? So yes, One could be that the issue is much magnified than what we thought initially to be. Any other thoughts, anyone? Then I will also reveal my thoughts on this, what I felt when I looked at this picture. Or by the way, these are not my pictures. These are all picked up from, I mean, these are very common pictures. I mean, you get these pictures even in motivational talks and all, where you get these pictures which are picked up there. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this? What this picture could represent? Anyone would like to unmute yourself and talk about it? Please feel free to unmute yourself. And by the way, there is no right or a wrong answer. Okay, it is all left to imagination. It is all left to imagination is what I would say. Okay, let me reveal my answer for this. My answer for this is, yeah, I think we have someone who has put it, dream big, think big. Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Thanks, Shireen, for pitching in there. So I was going to think that many times we are thinking about ourselves in a very small way. Okay, we think that, no, this is not possible to us. Okay, we cannot do this. We cannot achieve this, but dream big. Dream big. Okay, so think beyond the obvious, right? Here you can see the cat. The cat is dreaming that she will be actually be the king of the jungle, right? Or the queen of the jungle. The tiger or a tigress is what he or she is thinking here, right? So dream big. Have your goals very much big in nature. That is also one more thing. Many times we see that team members are reluctant to pick up the work in a sprint planning. They are afraid of failure. You have to basically, as a coach, you have to, so you can use this metaphor even in a sprint planning activity, right? In a sprint planning event, you can use this metaphor which can be used, right? So think big or dream big is what I would say would be the mantra here, or where I can go ahead and build a story around it. So when you're in a one-on-one coaching session, when your team members say that, no, I cannot do this, it is highly impossible, maybe you can give this picture. You can present this picture to them, and you can ask them, okay, what do you think the cat is thinking here? Or what is the message which the cat is trying to drive from here? So dream big, think big can be one of the important messages which can come out of this particular scenario. Okay, let us move ahead. Let us go to the next scenario. And yeah, this one. Can you tell me what you can build around this scenario? This is a very famous picture of, I think it is of Empire State Building. It is a genuine picture. Okay, it's not a trick photography. I verified it. This is a 1930s or 40s picture. Imagine us, and these are the workers who are constructing the Empire State Building, or one of the skyscrapers in United States of America. And it seems that this picture is about their lunchtime discussion which is happening. So what can you think about this scenario? Can anyone bring any light to this scenario? Anyone would like to unmute and talk? Move as a team. Okay, great. Move as a team. Together we achieve more. Team, that is what we say, right? Together everyone achieves more. That can be one scenario which comes out. What else? Okay, so I look at this picture in a totally different way. Okay, so let me, so when I ask my team, okay, that yes, we are releasing now the software into our production environment. What is a guarantee that it will not fail? And people are puzzled. People say, no, how can you ask this question? Defects are something which are integral part of a release process, right? How can we commit to a zero defect delivery? Or how can we build a product where there are no defects? Definitely there will be some defects which will be there, right? That is what people will throw back, right? I tell them that this is a picture which tells that these laborers are sitting on a beam which they have constructed. And they're so confident about this beam that it won't rip apart. This is a beam which they have built. You can put a story around it. It's not a real story. Okay, we are building story scenarios here. Okay, so one of the stories can be that they are so confident about a product which is yet to go in the production environment that they are claiming by giving this message that we are sitting here, we are enjoying, and nothing is going to happen to our product or its features. That's another message. What I felt. Okay, this is what I felt when I looked at this picture. Or teams problem solving meeting, right? Or working live on the field, right? Live on the production server. When there's a major bug on the production server, the entire team comes together and works on rectifying the defect before anything else, any mishap actually comes in the way of the reputational risk. So this can be another interpretation of this picture which is there. Okay, so team coordination, team collaboration. By the way, there's a difference between collaboration and coordination, which we will see in a moment from now. There's a fundamental difference between collaboration and coordination, which many of us would need to understand. But yeah, this is a storyline which I will build around this, that a group of people who have developed the product, they're giving a message that this product, come what may be, will not fail in the production environment or will not fail in the production server. Yeah, that can be one scenario which can be there. Okay, and yes, as I said, right, I mean, you can construct many such scenarios in your coaching journey, right? So when you're coaching team members, rather than going into a conversation, oh, tell me what happened to you, I mean, those probing questions we say, right? You can put a picture and ask this person to write down something, right, on a piece of paper, and tell him or her, what do you think about this picture? Can you please write it down? And when he or she writes it down and shares it with you, you can then initiate the conversation around it. Okay, time for the next picture. Time for the next picture, which is there. So there are two pictures next. One is this and one is this. Yeah, what can you think about this picture? Something interesting. So there's a football coach and there's a cricket coach in the picture. So two pictures are there. One is a soccer coach and one, of course, is a cricket. Cricket, of course, is a game. I understand it is not played in all the places, but it is one of the sports. And this picture, again, I related it to 2 or 3 different ways, right? So for example, one is, I mean, this picture I normally show to Scrum Masters and coaches. Okay, so I show to Scrum Masters and coaches and I ask them, okay, tell me, how do you decide your coaching style? So there are 2 distinct coaching styles in this picture. The football coach, if you would have seen the game of football or soccer, right? The coach is very active on the field. So the team is playing a match. You will see the coach running around a length and breadth of the field, right? Giving directions on the field. Directions is what you see, the football coach giving the directions. Whereas a cricket coach, I mean, this is a test match which is being talked about here. Even though the team is in a problem, the cricket coach is very calm and composed and sitting in the dressing room. Whatever briefing he or she has to give is during the breaks, during the lunch break or a tea break or a strategic timeout, or after the match. So which is the right coaching style? Can anyone tell me which is the right coaching style amongst the two? As a coach, which according to you is the correct coaching style? Is it a soccer coach or is it a cricket coach? I think it is both, right? Yes, absolutely right, Ali. Thanks for pitching in, Ali. It is both. Both the styles are equally, I would say, valid. It is contextual. It depends on the project, which coaching style you have to adapt. So many times, at least I did that mistake in my earlier part of my coaching journey. I was supposed to, I was expected to apply the football coaching strategy, but I ended up applying a cricket coaching strategy. And then obviously there were a lot of issues around the feedback which I got as a coach, right? So what is your coaching style, right? That might be the story. Other story could be what I think Shireen mentioned, something about diversity. Yes, I mean, team diversity, respect, courage, commitment, right? We all know the 5 Scrum values. And yes, it could be about focus, openness, respect, courage, commitment. I think someone did mention focus earlier. Or it could be about team diversity. How do I work in a diverse team environment? How do I make sure that my team is a cross-functional team? And I fundamentally believe that if you want to really build a cross-functional, self-organized team, you cannot build a team without diversity in it. You cannot have all the people from one area or all the people from one country and claim that you have a self-organized cross-functional team. It has to be different skill sets. It has to be different sets of people who have their beliefs, who come together and they build such a diverse culture which is there. Yes, so you can also build a story around diversity, as Shirin, you have rightly mentioned. Okay, great going. Okay, one more picture before, yeah, there are a couple of more pictures. Let us try to understand this. Yeah, this one is one of my favorite stories, actually. This is one of my favorite stories, which I always take in my coaching classes. Okay, so whether I'm coaching Scrum Masters, whether I'm coaching Agile coaches, this is a picture which I always talk about. Yeah, any thoughts on this picture? What could this picture be representing, or what story we are trying to represent with this picture? All right. Team, the power of team. Together we win. Okay. So I actually use this to distinguish between coordination and collaboration. As I said earlier, right, there's a difference between coordination and there's a difference between collaboration. And how do I build a story? So if this picture comes to me, how will I build a story around it? I will say that there's a place where all these golden fishes reside, and one day a blue whale comes in and he manages to eat around 100 fish. 100 of these golden fish the blue whale is able to eat. The next day the team coordinates. And they say that, okay, at the boundary of our territory, few of the golden fishes will actually do a watchdog kind of a scenario. So they will watch and they will alert the rest of the community members that the blue whale is approaching. So they coordinate well. But what happens is still there are 40 fishes who get eaten up by the blue whale because they have coordinated. They have not collaborated. Coordination means you're temporarily solving the problem. So instead of 100 fish, 40 fish got eaten. Now they want to completely eliminate this problem. They want to make sure that the blue whale does not return back again. So what they do, they create an imaginary structure like this, which is a very kind of a bigger structure than the blue whale, as you can see. And this bigger structure tries to scare away the blue whale. And that is collaborating to solve a problem. Coordination might be a temporary solution, coordinating to solve a problem. Collaboration is a permanent solution to solve the problem. So this is how I will build a story out of this picture, right? That we have collaborated only as a team. When we collaborate, we can actually solve the bigger problem, right? Coordination might result in a temporary solution. It may not result in a permanent solution, but it will result in a temporary solution. And it could be a temporary fix which is there. But when I'm collaborating, I'm permanently solving the problem. Any other thoughts on this picture apart from team power and coordination and collaboration? Anything else which comes to your mind? Okay. All right. So yeah, maybe when I open the floor for questions, feel free to share your thoughts. And yeah, one of the last pictures for the day, which I would like to put forward here, is this picture. Yeah, what is this picture all about? Any thoughts on this picture? Another interesting picture, right? I mean, I'm sure you like this picture, right? And I'm sure you have seen this picture. So what is this picture trying to tell? Any thoughts or any guesses on this? I hope I'm audible. Hello. I'm just checking if I'm audible. Yeah. Okay. People are responding now. Always some power is behind you. Okay. That's interesting. I've never heard this actually, but that's interesting. Have you heard this quote? Who's the elephant in the room? Have you come across this phrase? Who's the elephant in the room? And what does it mean? What is the meaning of that statement? Who's the elephant in the room? Any idea what is the meaning of that statement? Who's the elephant in the room? This picture is more apt for that. So elephant in the room is someone who's trying to create someone who is basically stubborn. Okay, someone not exactly highest power, but someone who's always trying to put in bottlenecks. Someone who's any good initiative you're trying to do, someone is creating a roadblock. Okay, so you have to identify the elephant in the room. And as coaches, this is very important for us also, right? Many times when we go into a transformation journey, we see that, I mean, yes, there are a lot of good initiatives which the team comes up with, but those good initiatives get lost because there's always that elephant in the room who's trying to disturb this, or who's very happy with the status quo. And he or she will tell you that, okay, no, but why do we change it? Is there really a valid reason for us to change? Or do we really change? I mean, what is the need for changing it at all? Right? So that's the elephant. Identify the elephant in your room. Who is the elephant in your room? And what exactly is the elephant trying to do? Is he or she trying to become a bottleneck? Is he or she trying to unnecessarily create negativity around you, okay, or around the transformation what you're doing? So that's the elephant in the room, what we call it, right? That's what we call it as the elephant in the room is what we call it, right? So yeah, identify the elephant in your room and eliminate the constraints, right? Eliminate the constraints which are there. So what I had thought was that I will cover these 5 of my favorite scenarios. As I said, I've also created a video on agile memes, which picks up some very classic scenes from Hollywood movies and Bollywood movies, which are there. But I thought that I will cover those 5 to 6 scenarios. In fact, the scenarios, 5 scenarios were more, I would say, of the deep thinking and introspection, what I wanted to give. There were also earlier poems which I talked about, some very common nursery rhymes, which we can share in our coaching conversation. So this is what I wanted to cover as a part of this session. Of course, there are more examples I have. There are more pictures which are there, which I wanted to which I have it in my coaching repository. So before I open the floor for questions, I just wanted to once again introduce myself in case you are not aware about me. Ashutosh Bhattodekar, working as an agile thinker, enterprise agile coach, strategist, and a learner myself. I do conduct coaching sessions, one-on-one coaching sessions, which help people to grow in their career. So if any one of you is interested, do connect with me one-on-one. I have a YouTube channel where you will find almost 100 plus videos, as I said, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm sure it will help you in some way or the other to grow in your coaching journey. And this is the YouTube channel which is there, which I have pinged you in the chat box. And those of you who are on LinkedIn Live, I'll be pinging you the LinkedIn, the YouTube channel on LinkedIn Live also in a moment from now. So on that note, I take a pause here, and I'm open to answer any questions. And I will be happy if you can also come on camera. Okay, if people can come on camera, that would also be really great, so that I can see you also. Yeah, yeah. So any questions which are there? Hi DSK, how are you? I can't hear you, DSK. I think you're muted.
Yeah, doing good, sir. How are you doing?
I think. I'm great, sir. Hope all well.
Yep, going on smooth so far. And I'm glad that you're using a lot of images to kindle the interest in the people. That's a very good strategy. Carry on.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for your feedback. Yeah. Yeah, anyone else would like to come on camera? And nice to see DSK after so many years. Yeah, I think I know COVID has kept us so apart that unfortunately, yeah, hopefully we'll get an opportunity to meet in the person. Yeah. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Or yeah, this session is coming on YouTube. We don't normally share the slides. Obviously, these pictures are not mine. Okay, there's a footnote. I have mentioned the sources of this picture. Also, these are not mine. I also try to bring in my pictures, which I see, which I have taken snaps of. But of course, most of these pictures are coming from standard sources where I do give a credit for them. Anyone else? Any question? Or anyone else, any question around it, or any? Yeah, I'll be happy to also have your feedback on the session. I'll be more than happy to have your feedback on the session and how it was. And yeah, you can let me know later also. Not that you have to tell me right now, but you can tell me later also. Yeah, anyone else? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, so folks who are on LinkedIn Live and Twitter, I will answer your questions separately, because obviously those questions come to me after a period of time, because there's a small lag which is there where the questions come. Yeah, so if there are no further questions, I think we are good to close the session for the day. Thanks for investing yourself in this session. This is not a free session, I always say. You might be thinking that it is a free session. No, you have invested a major part of your life in this session, which is time. And time once gone cannot be recovered, right? As they say. So thanks for investing in this session for your own benefit. And happy learning, and have a great evening ahead, and happy weekend to all of you. So thank you very much. And bye for now. Thanks a lot.